Okay, if you have a service-based business and you're still involved in the sales process and the operations, I hate to break it to you, but your business is worthless. Right? Now, don't misunderstand. You might be cash flowing. It might be supporting you. It might be supporting some employees and contractors and maybe supporting your lifestyle. But if you ever wanted to retire someday, to sell that business, go do something else, maybe hang up the spurs, ride off into the sunset, cash out, right? You want to cash out on this thing that you've built and actually get value from it, build generational wealth from it, then it's impossible in its current state, okay? But the good news is that you can turn it into something valuable, something that can be sold. And we're going to talk about that today in this video, so stay tuned. I'm going to share those secrets with you right now, okay? Okay, so they're coming. But let me just give a little bit of background about why your business is worthless right now, okay, as it stands. Here's the reason. If in like a company that's going to buy you, what they're looking for is they want to bolt your business onto what they're doing, right? And then they're going to take it from there. They're going to help it grow. They hopefully have a strategic reason to acquiring you. Maybe they're a competitor of yours and they just want all your people you do business for. They want to add that to their pool. Maybe they offer some related service to the same pool of customers, okay? And they just want to bolt your business onto theirs so they can upsell, right? They have multiple services that they can now provide to their business. Whatever it is, it's like the best type of acquisition is a strategic acquisition, right? Because they will value you for more than just the cash flow, right? They will value you for the strategic growth that you're gonna, you and your brand, if they acquire you, is gonna bring to their company. Okay, so that's the best acquisition possible, some strategic acquisition. Now, a good acquisition, but it's maybe second tier, is one that is just for the cash flow, right? It's maybe some private equity bank. It's someone who wants an investment. They just want to they want to buy something that works. Okay, they want it to be a solid investment, and they're going to come in and maybe they don't have any experience in your industry, or maybe they just they don't really care what your business does. They just want to know that it's healthy and that it's repeatable, and so they want to come in and buy it and then just have the thing run on its own. Okay, so those are maybe the two most common types of people that are looking to acquire your company. Now let me explain why your company today is not attractive to them and therefore is worthless. All right, because certainly for the private equity banker guy who just wants to buy something for his cash flow or steady investment, if you sell to him, because you are intricately involved in the sales process in operations, once you're gone, there's nothing to continue the business functioning the way it is. And so it's extremely risky. And the guy who's hoping to just sit on the beach in Malibu and kind of manage the numbers while your company runs on its own, that dream doesn't exist for him. And so he's like, I'm out. I'm not going to buy it. Okay, unless the only way that he's going to buy it is if you stay on for 5 years. And if that is the case, then you're going to give up. You've built this thing maybe from the ground, right? Maybe you built this from nothing, out of your house, your garage or something. Maybe the people that you're working with are like family, okay? And so you've built this thing, and they're going to, you're all of a sudden going to become his employee, because you're going to get a little bit of money up front, and he's going to dangle his carrot in front of you saying, yeah, we'll say your business is worth this much, but you're going to have to stay on for 5 years to hit these key metrics, and if you hit those metrics, then you're going to get to participate in that payout. But here's a little bit of money up front. Now you're my employee. So you still hold all the risk that you did before you made that deal, right? You still have all that risk of an entrepreneur and business owner, only you have none of the control for those 5 years. I mean, you're giving up the creative power, you're giving up the decision making for those 5 years. So literally anything could happen, and it might destroy your company to do that, right? And so, and that's certainly with the private equity guy, but it's also with the strategic buyer. They want to know that they can easily take your business and bolt it onto theirs, and it can run without you. Okay. Now, if you listen, I get it. So maybe you like to be the face of the business, right? Maybe you've built these relationships with your clients and your customers. Maybe your business even has your name on it, right? It's like your last name Consulting, or your last name Inc., or your last name and Sons, or something like that, right? That's really common. There's hundreds of thousands of businesses like that, and I get it, because you take pride, you put your name on it, your face is there, and so it reflects who you are, and that's okay. But the challenge with it is if the whole sales process is tied directly to you, and your integrity, your honor, your quality control, and who you are, and all of a sudden you leave, there's a risk that your business might not perform going forward the same way it's performed in the past. And so it's very difficult and very risky for any acquirer to make that investment, right? And assume that even if you give them these really nice numbers of growth and where you're at and how to value your business, it's hard for them to say, well, now what happens when they leave? Okay, what happens when you step out of your business? Is it going to die? Is it going to thrive? We don't know. So it's just too much of a wild card. And even if they choose to acquire you, it's going to be with a 5-year payout and commitment to stay on, giving up control and still maintaining all the risk, or it's going to be at a big, huge discount to the actual value of your company. So it's like, just twist that dagger, right? Because you built this thing from the ground up. To you, it represents value, emotional value. It represents, this thing that you've sweated and slaved over. I get it. I'm a business owner myself with a company, a service-based company, and so I had to learn this exact same lesson too. And I say that to just say, I get you. Okay, it hurt when someone told me that my business was worthless, and I there's a certain amount of pride that comes with being the person who makes those sales calls, to visit those people, to say, you know what, I'll make sure that you're taken care of. It's got my name on it, okay? I understand all of that firsthand. Let me just say that, however, if you hope to make the transition to cash out, to hang up the spurs, to have that moment where you can, go do something else and get the value of this wonderful brand that you've built, you need to do the following things. You need to have the following strategies. The first is you have to remove yourself from the sales process. It has to happen that way. Now, you were the best thing for your company leading up to now. Your name, your face, your steadiness, your tenacity, like who you are, your values, and your beliefs. Like, that was the best thing. It's what attracted your employees. It's what attracted your customers. It's what got you to where you're at today. And I honor that. And I feel that because I wanted to be honored for my sacrifices when I was growing my own company. So let me just say I honor that right now. But if you care about the brands like I know you do, if you care about your brand the way that you've cared about it for this long time, then we need to be open-minded and honest about what's the best thing for the team that you've built and for the brand that you've built moving forward. And the answer to that question is that someone else needs to be the person to form the relationships and to make those sales, to close the deals, and to do that, and for you to get yourself out of that process. Okay? And so we dive deep into this, by the way, in our Exit Plan Secrets program about how to remove yourself from the sales process. So that's the first thing. The sales process has got to be, you've got to be out of that. The second thing is operations, so fulfillment. Remember, the sales process is like the lead generation and the conversion, right? Forming those relationships. But the actual fulfillment, once someone pays and says, yep, here you go, do this thing, then you've got to be out of that too, right? You've got to have a team, you've got to have procedures, you've got to have quality control, whatever that looks like. It's got to be built into systematic procedures. And so that's the second thing, okay? And we dive deep into that in Exit Plan Secrets as well. The third thing is that you've got to stop offering customized solutions for every person, okay? And I'll explain more of that in the next video. So make sure you watch for that. It's going to drop soon. For now, thanks for tuning in. We're going to release far more strategies that are going to help you get ready to sell so you can ride off into the sunset and take care of your team. Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe. I'll catch you on the flip side.